Hey guys, Shawn Anen, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. Another day, another show, another episode to provide value for you to actually take some action, implement some of the ideas, strategies that we go over with my guest. We're going to go into what they do as far as their business and then show a couple of great topics that they love and they're passionate about. So you'll definitely learn something today in this next 15 minutes. Housekeeping. If you're live, hashtag live in the comments. Replay, hashtag replay. I would love to know where you're watching from. And if you have questions throughout, definitely drop them in the comments. We'd love to reach out to you, connect, and help educate you more. If you have a favorite emoji, the pound, the thumbs up, the fire, what have you, drop those if you're liking what we're talking about throughout our conversation. Let me bring on a good friend of mine, Shawn Anen. What's up, man? How are you? Let me bring him in here.
What's going on, brother? What's going on? I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing excellent. Appreciate taking some time out of your busy day. Drop all the nuggets, as I say, and help other people. That's the goal, right?
So I'm actually known as the nugget guy. When I do these things, when I do trainings here in my office and stuff like that, or when I'm speaking in front of people, it's always like, there's always these little nuggets inside this like paragraph and a couple sentences. So yeah, hopefully some people can get some value from our conversation here. Looking forward to it.
That's the goal, is gain some value, learn something. Before we even get into it, Shawn, who are you and what do you do?
Shawn Anen from Keller Williams Prosperity. I'm a real estate agent for the last 20 years. As young as I look with my boyish young looks here. 20 years in the business, man. I got in when I was 22 years old, juggling. Actually, I had a landscape company that I started when I was 17, wound up selling it when I was 21. Decided to go back to college. So in the middle of college, being a foreman at the landscape company that I once owned that I sold, bartending on the weekends and being a waiter during the week, I decided to go to real estate school. And that's where it all started, man. And I was 22 years old, definitely a young buck at the time when it wasn't cool to be a real estate agent at a young age. Now it's a totally different world out there. So, coming into in an industry where I was probably one of the youngest guys out there, I'm like, you know what? I got to make a name for myself, and jumped into it head first. First year, 22 years old, had no idea what the heck I was doing. Sold nearly $10 million worth of real estate. I'm like, all right, I think I might have myself a career here. So here I am 20 years later, enter 2023. And this year, my team was ranked in the top 1.5% teams in the country by Real Trends. First time for us for that, which I'm excited about, and looking forward to the future, man. I feel like I'm just getting started. Even though I'm 20 years in, I feel like I'm just getting started, right? And every time I love that underdog mentality that keeps pushing me to be better every single day, not only for myself, but for my family and my clients as well.
So. No doubt. I mean, real estate is the easiest barrier to entry.
Yeah, 75 hours. Yeah. Have a high school diploma or GED, 75 hours on a test, 75 hours and a test, I should say. Nowadays, like when I went, you had to be in class. So I did the crash course, did it in 3 weeks. It was like a 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday, just, banged it out, got in, took my state test. I actually took the school test, then the state test. And, here I am 20 years later. So nowadays you can do it on Zoom. Like you don't even have to be in the classroom, right? There was none of this stuff back then. And then COVID hit, and the state actually opened up their restrictions as far as being in class, and they allowed you to do it on Zoom, and that is still open to this day. So the low barrier of entry got even lower, and you could do it right from your couch as opposed to getting in your car and having to drive to the class and sit there all day. So
no doubt. And a lot of people don't realize it's a business, guys. It's something that you go into. You have to learn as you go sometimes, because there's not a lot of gurus out there, but you have to have the right trainings.
There was not a lot of gurus back then. There's definitely a lot of gurus now, but the thing is, now there's so many gurus, it's like you don't know who to listen to, because one person says one thing, the other person says the other. One person says to cold call and door knock, the other person says, no, you don't do that, you do it this way, So there's so many, the low barrier to entry is the gift and the curse, right? Because anybody can do it, but because anybody can go in and get licensed doesn't ultimately mean you're going to be successful in this business.
That's true. It's definitely true. I want to pause for 1 second and
Nice little commercial there, man. I
You
love
like
that.
that?
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna get me one of those.
It's always a good thing to throw some extra, always growing. People are always, afraid to do what we're doing right now. And this is a powerful medium to share value, teach, educate, give information, but people don't want to do it. But I love it. And I think this is a great opportunity. And as we're talking about, growing and 20 years in the business, and you're a family guy too. And a lot of people don't realize this. Some people don't talk about how how that changes you. And it's important to share that because that's what's driving dads like us. Why we wake up every single day to go to the next level, to set things up for our future. Because if we don't wake up and we don't do our things, our kids, our family are not going to be happy, one, but they're going to miss out on things. Can you talk on that front, man? How did it change you?
So it's definitely changed me, for the best, right? Like not even the better, but for the best. It forces me in a sense to show up as a better version of myself every single day, right? Because it's no longer just for me, it's for other people. And as much as it's me, and I want to do this and I want to do this, right? There's always that thing like I want to do this for what? More importantly, for who? And when you start to think of it from that sense, it gets your mind propelling, right? Because ultimately, as human beings, and this is like a Tony Robbins thing from back in the day that I learned a long time ago. We will do more for other people than we'll do for ourselves. So when we have children, that sets that on a completely another level, where now we have somebody that is essentially like an external part of us, and through our true DNA, that now we have this inner drive to do the best for ourselves for somebody that is essentially an extension of ourselves. So yeah, it's super powerful, man. And there's a lot of kids out there, and I call them kids, and I mean like the 25, 30-year-olds, 32-year-olds. I feel as though people have started having kids later on, right? And this has been like a progression over I guess kind of the last generation or last two generations here. And look, we all have social media, right? We all have Instagram, we all have YouTube, and we see these ultra successful people with no children. So you can't say that the children are like the deciding factor to propel yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what life would be like without kids, right? And I look at these people on social media and YouTube and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I think that's great what you're doing. But there's a huge other piece that's missing, that when you actually integrate that piece, the success you have there will skyrocket exponentially. And I think that's super important when it comes to having children.
And I think, like you said, social media, a lot of that stuff is smoke and mirrors too. So you don't really know too much about exactly what's going on.
It's a highlight reel. It's the highlight reel. So that's the other challenge with social media too, right? Like if you're having a bad day, if you're not doing well, and you're going on social media and you're looking at all these other people doing well, the thing that you don't realize is they have all the same problems, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're going through some stuff too. They're just not showing them to you. So, and again, I'm going to go back to like, the generation younger than me, and, even that generation younger than them, when they look at this stuff and they're not feeling so good internally, that just amplifies it, man. And it makes it a million times worse. So I mean, to circle it back to having kids, when you have kids, you got to make sure that they're in the right mindset and they don't allow that to take over them internally as well. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with these kids.
That leads into I love mindset training, and I love talking about mindset and have that positive mindset and making sure that things are happening consistently. And you have those days, you have rejection and how you deal with that. Are you into reading books? Are you into going to workshops about that mindset? How are you getting trained yourself?
Yeah, so when thankfully when I was younger, I was introduced to Tony Robbins, which to this day has been a huge impact to me, my family, my life, my mindset. He was like the guru before all the gurus. You got Jim Rohn and all these guys too. You have so many great books along the way, Think and Grow Rich and all this stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'm super huge into that stuff. I'm more of a Audible kind of guy, right? Like I love the books. I also do love to read, but I have just been, really focused on the Audible stuff because I drive so much every single day. So for me, I call it, Automobile University.
Right.
I literally learn in my car, right? I want to read a book. I can't read it while I'm driving, obviously. So I'll plug it into my Audible and I'll listen to it. I feel like I absorb just as much. You could tag along little parts. You can kind of highlight sections, go back to them and stuff again, listen to it again. And I'm a big note taker, man. Like, I'm big on pen and paper. I got, notes all over here. I also, one of the things that have helped me too is taking notes on my iPad too. So yeah, from a mindset perspective, it's the most important thing. I wake up, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is what are 3 things I'm grateful for? Before my feet hit the floor, it's what are 3 things that I'm grateful for? And it's not like, it's not super deep. It's surface level, 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it could be anything. I talk about the story, like I have a pool, right? In my back, my master bedroom looks over my pool. And sometimes we get ducks in the pool. And one day I wake up, I see the ducks in the pool. I'm like, ah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that the ducks chose my pool. Out of the 25 pools in my neighborhood, the ducks chose mine. I'm grateful for the ducks. And I'm like, all right, they got to get the hell out of here now. So,
no, that's where you get your golden nuggets, right? You're reading you're listening.
Yeah, you're like golden nuggets for my ducks. Yeah.
All those golden nuggets that you're getting is from all the training that you're getting from the Audible, the different mentors. You could have mentors live, or you could have them in books. So it's powerful to take that information, actually reflect and implement. That's what a lot of people miss. They go to these events, they go to Tony Robbins, they go to these different gurus, and they sit there for a couple hours, couple days, but they never take action. And that's something that is missing, and a lot of people should start doing. And it goes hand in hand with fitness, right? How important is fitness? I always say health is wealth. If we're not healthy, we're not going to be able to produce what we want. It'll give you the energy. How is it with you?
Yeah. So after my gratitudes, man, I used to be a 4:58 a.m. guy. Now I'm a 4:38 a.m. guy. So this morning, 4:38 a.m., woke up, did my my top 3 gratitudes, or my 3 things I'm grateful for. Went downstairs. I used to be a huge coffee guy. First thing I wake up. For the past 2 years, I've been doing, what do? I do, it's like a organic matcha tea bag in a ginger tea bag. And I drink that, a little lemon in it with some alkaline water, and go back in, go deep gratitude. And then I jump out of bed, get ready, and I go to the gym. So I'm at the gym usually by 5:30-ish, somewhere around there. So it's huge, man. It's a very big part of my life, and it gives me the energy, right? So the mindset gives me the energy here internally. The family gives me the energy for the drive, and the gym gives me the energy physically to be able to perform at a high level, to be able to do stuff like this and impact other people's lives through real estate, through, some of the speakings and things that I do. And yeah, I mean, without that, I don't know, I'd probably be like a typical sedentary human.
When you're at the gym, are you into using weights? How often are you doing high intensity stuff? Are you just going on a treadmill? Some people just go and ride on the bike for an hour, and that's not that good for you as well. You got to do some strategic things throughout your
game. Resistance training, man. I was always big into resistance training. I was an athlete growing up in my life. Played football all the way through high school. Played basketball, baseball when I was a kid as well. So yeah, weight training has always been a big part of my life, and I used to hate running, man, but now I absolutely love running. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I hit the gym and the weights. Tuesday and Thursday, I'll run or do like a nice power walk. And then Saturday mornings, I usually go, I have an air bike in my garage. I also have my whole garage decked out too. But for the last 2 months, I actually just started going back to the gym. I've been working out in my garage for, I don't know, since 2017. So COVID hit, all the gym shut down. I'm like, yes, I'm well prepared. But now I go to the gym, right? I see my past clients there. I see friends there. And so now in the morning, I'm in that networking mode. And at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, I'm out there talking to people, doing what I got to do to prep my brain for the day to be able to communicate to other people at a super high level, right? And that for me, at least right now where I am, has been super, super powerful, as opposed to, doing what I have to do in my garage at 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting there talking to myself in my head until I see a single person. So that's been my routine now, man. So I love it. It's been working. I feel like I've had more energy at 42 years old than I've had in the past 7, 8 years of my life. So
no, I like these topics we covered today, man. It definitely helps. And if people follow and take action, getting active, doing some reading.
Yeah.
We're not saying start having kids just for the heck of it, but make sure
make sure you can support them first. That is the key.
But it's definitely one. These are topics that are out there that are powerful and could definitely take you to the next level. And I definitely appreciate you coming, and dropping those golden nuggets, Shawn. Those that are watching, you're going to see all in the description. Reach out to him, have a conversation, talk about any of these topics or much more. He has lots of value that he could definitely provide. Besides buying, selling, and investing, of course, he can help you with that. But reach out to him and have a call, have a connection. And Shawn, thanks so much for being with us today.
Can I throw my I can throw my IG out there? Is that right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
So, most of the places you can find me at Anen Real Estate. So that's at my last name, Anen Real Estate. Facebook, you can find me at Shawn Anen or Shawn Anen Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Wayne. So, but yeah, most of the stuff is at Anen Real Estate.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll put it all in the description so you guys can check them out. Shawn, stick with me for one moment. Guys, have yourself an awesome rest of your day.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, man.